Hey guys, welcome back to the Sphere. Today's review is going to be on Dragon Quest XI for the PlayStation 4. This is my very first Dragon Quest game, therefore I cannot give an opinion when it comes to comparing it to previous installments in the series. This review is solely based on my opinion as a first time, no expectations Dragon Quest player. Let's get started. Graphics. From the moment you lay your eyes on the characters, the art style may be familiar to you. If so, you may have read or watched the Dragon Ball series. Akira Toriyama, who created Dragon Ball, has worked with the Dragon Quest series as a character design artist since the very first game. His art style is very distinct and absolutely perfect for this game. Everything from the landscapes, cities, characters, and monsters is crystal clear and vibrant with color. They know this too, since the game even prompts you at the beginning to sometimes just take a minute to take in the scenery. And you do. Throughout the entirety of the game, I was absolutely spoiled with eye candy. Places I never thought I'd be were the absolute most beautiful landscapes in the game. Surprisingly enough, just the fight scenes alone give you these perfect angles where the sparks from fire or electricity are individually seen and truly appreciated. They used colors like every single scene was a Bob Ross painting. Even their dark colors were brilliant in creating an atmosphere of dread. In addition to all these gorgeous cutscenes with their luminous hues and shades, the camera work becomes the perfect companion. Everyone who worked on this game wanted to show off just how beautiful the art is, and I'm very glad they did. I felt like a bug to a light bulb. Gameplay and controls. The controls are simple and easy to learn. The effortless controls will have you gliding through the overworld without thinking about it. Dragon Quest has an expansive world map you get to explore while running, climbing, riding a horse, or strangely enough, riding on a number of bizarre mounts throughout the game. I, personally, had never experienced a game where so many different quirky mounts are available to you to explore hard-to-reach heights and nooks, only available to you after you fight it into submission, of course. This leads me as to why you would want to ride these mounts in the first place. I love nothing more than a game that rewards me for going out of my way to search any tiny space I can squeeze into to see if there is that little ball of light I can snag into my bag. Dragon Quest just does that. In many other games, I managed to get myself into or onto spots in cities, dungeons, or fields where a casual gamer really wouldn't go to, and I'm rarely ever rewarded for it. I absolutely adore how that disappointed feeling of not seeing a glowing item is rarely ever felt in this game. Behind rocks, in between bushes, inside vases, on the highest roof, down the well, I will almost always find a glowing piece of joy to help me on my journey. Why would I need these items in these out-of-the-ordinary locations? To forge more items, of course. Another reason I enjoyed my playthrough is the unique little mini-game for forging weapons or armor. It takes skill and luck, mostly skill, to craft the finest equipment, but man is it fun doing it. As far as the battle system goes, it is turn-based, therefore I love it. If you watched previous reviews, you know that I enjoy turn-based games more than action-based. Every character you control has various skills and magic you can use to defeat any enemy. The difficulty was comfortable. There were a few instances where I had to sit up straight to put that evil monster in its place. Since there are numerous playable characters, you can mix and match your fighting crew to your personal style and go all out. I particularly enjoyed the skill tree for each character since I got to build them up in any direction I wanted them to be. Reminded me of Final Fantasy or the Elder Scrolls in that sense. Unlocking particular skills gives you more options to perform pep powers. These powers are the ultimate skills you can use with not just one, but multiple crew members to unleash a devastating amount of damage to your foes. Once you had your special crew in place, there was no stopping you, or the fun you'd be having. Sound. Everything when it comes to sound in Dragon Quest was a pleasantry to my ears throughout the entirety of the game. The music correlates so well with the art design and overall story. I found myself humming along to the music whenever I wasn't too focused on battling foes. There is only one downside I can think of when it comes to the soundtrack. I wish they had more tracks. I can start humming away a number of songs I remember vividly since I heard them numerous times throughout different events in the game. Perhaps I'm being greedy. I don't know. I rather enjoyed the songs a great deal, but I just wish they added a few more songs to love for different scenes and locations. It felt a little recycled, but not enough to make me dislike the music or get annoyed by it. So does anything make up for this minor flaw? Yes.
Yoo-hoo! Look out below!
The voice acting. Everyone, besides our silent main character, has an amazing voice actor behind them.
What was that?
They put a lot of effort into turning their voices extra animated since a lot of the characters have a great amount of personality. Some of the individuals are tough and honorable, small and sassy, confident and extravagant, humble and kind-hearted, mysterious and strong, hopeful and determined, or comical and wise. All these traits are manifested by their talented voice actors. I particularly enjoyed how some of the cities you get to visit are heavily influenced by cultures from our real world, and you could hear it in their accents, see it in their cities, or understand by some particular words they use. Every time I was to travel to a new city, I was always a little anxious to see what the next location was going to be influenced by. Story. Our silent main character is born of royalty, but a terrible day occurs when evil strikes and destroys his homeland, and he barely escapes with his life to start anew. Once he matures to a young adult, he discovers that he isn't just an ordinary person, but the child of legend who is to overturn the great villain whom threatens the peace of the world. Sound familiar? Yeah, so it may not have the most original plot, but the journey through it has many surprising curves along the way. The characters, for one, are so fun and lovable. They all have backstories that in some form or another tie to your own in various ways. Gathering each member one by one was great, and each one added to my laughter many times over at how silly, random, and awkward each of them can be. Traveling with them feels like you're a part of the group, discovering new faces and uncovering more pieces of the puzzle that is the main character's past and destiny. Did I mention you get to travel by ship throughout the overworld map? Yes! It gave me flashbacks to Skies of Arcadia, and I grinned like a child from the sudden and most overwhelmed nostalgia. There are other methods to travel as well that I won't mention here, so it'll be a nice surprise for those of you who do plan to play it. The main story is very fun to play, and there are a finite number of side quests you can do for the people of the world whose troubles you can solve in exchange for valuable items. They usually involve finding valuables, fighting vicious foes, or rescuing loved ones. They don't really have much to do with the main story, but they are nice little additions to the cultures of each location you visit. Plus, these quests will have you stacking up experience to unlock abilities and magic in the skill tree. It's a win-win overall. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed Dragon Quest XI. It's predictable, yet not. It's a little difficult to explain. I always felt I knew exactly what would happen, and I was usually right. But there are times where I was stunned at how the story was proceeding. You come to care for the characters and the story. I just wanted to play more and more. It was pretty hard to put the controller down. The main game is around 70 plus hours. That's already worth your buck. On top of that, there are post-game side quests and challenges with tough enemies and bosses that will get you an additional 20 plus hours without having to pay extra. Shocking, right? That's a rarity nowadays. Plus, for any platinum trophy hunters out there, there are no missable trophies. Yay! You can get them all in one go. I find that as a nice little bonus. It's a traditional JRPG in every sense of the way. I couldn't be happier with this game, and it has definitely turned me into a Dragon Quest fan. I certainly can't wait to try out past installments of this series, as well as the future ones to come. Okay, so as for the final score, I give Dragon Quest XI a 9 out of 10. I recommend it for anyone that has enjoyed previous Dragon Quest games, or games such as Skies of Arcadia, Grandia, or Persona. If you guys want to see footage of me playing this game, feel free to visit our other channel, Nevyka Plays, where you can see our playthroughs of various games we happen to be playing. The link will be in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to this channel for more reviews of all old and new. Janet.
We win again.